Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Morning Debrief. It's currently the 30th of September and obviously end of the week. Certainly a very volatile week, there's no doubt about it, and certainly a lot of concerns still remain out there. I guess the important things last night, and the market got a little bit excited, I guess, is that 10 out of the 17 member states to the European Union, monetary union, particularly Germany, actually voted to increase the size of the package. That in itself, I think, sent some relief through the financial markets. As a result of that, we saw the European stock markets up, but obviously the FTSE under pressure. We also saw the Dow a little bit better bid, so that in itself was quite encouraging. We also had some reasonably good data out of America. Jobless claims, the lowest for a while, and revised GDP up 1.3%. Is it all over? Is the picture looking rosy? I think that's the interesting thing. Sort of talking to colleagues and discussing around the table, you know, there is obviously this period of slowdown which will go, and let's be assured that all of Europe has suggested that the union will not fail. As a result of that, we're still looking for means, but I think the first step is to increase the size of the package, and that will create that optimism and confidence, and or provide the time for them to actually work out what's the correct recipe to solve debt problems, particularly in Greece, Spain and Italy. So it's going to be quite interesting keeping an eye on that. But let's have a little bit of a wrap through of the market. Okay, there we go. US stocks advance on jobless claims. That's a bit, let's go down here. Politics. Obama says Europe needs more effective. We know that. Stocks in the US rise on jobless data. US economy comfort drops to second weakest on record. Comfort drops. Okay, we know that. Jobless claims, we know in US drop more than forecast. Hang on. It's contradictory, but anyway. US economy grew at a revised 1.3 pace. A little bit more than expected, and that was quite positive. Oil rises, and you've got all the little bit of news there, which is, I guess, all within expectations. Okay, let's have a quick snapshot of around the world, particularly with the world indices, and let's relive some of the moments. You've got the Dow Jones up 143, the S&P up 9, Nasdaq was down 10, so tech's under pressure. Euro top 50 was up 35, FTSE, as we mentioned, was down 20, CAC was up 32, DAX was up 61, so a little bit more positive on that front. Looking to the local market, how did the SPY trade on Cycom? You can see we're up 21 at 4,027. Remember, in all our talks, we've had that bifurcation point for 4,000. That pretty much seems to be doing the do, because it's a pretty important area. Okay, let's now go and have a look at some of the majors that we do look at. So just move over here. First of all, the US dollar, 78.43. Let's have a look at the hourly chart with that movement last night. Probably best to look at that daily too, because it looks like we're having a little bit of a correction there. But as you can see, this all looks reasonably good stuff. Positive for a test at the top side. One thing to note, support for the dollar index is at 77.80 now. So just be careful if it breaks through that. That puts a bit of a spanner in the works. But these sorts of movements suggest that we're heading a little bit higher as well. Aussie came under pressure, 97.70, and obviously on the back of what's happening in commodities, the weaker picture that we had yesterday, the market decided to sell, and obviously Aussie came back a little bit. I don't actually mind the Aussie down near these areas, although, as I have mentioned, the Aussie has broken through some significant trendline support. You know, the market doesn't go directly down, spends time consolidating. So just be wary. Whilst 96.50, that's the pivotal point we've talked about, stays in play, that Aussie, you can have a go at having a look at buying it with a stop below that level. Rightio. Okay, that's the Aussie. Now having a look at the Euro, 135.86 marking time. One has to think that, look, if it takes out the top side there, 136, 137, it's good, and on the bottom side, if there's a problem, through 133.80. That's the range at the moment. Dolly Yen, stable, but steady as a rock, there's no doubt about it. And obviously there's lots of market wanting to take that higher. So I think just be wary with it. It's behaving as if it wants to go higher, and I think it probably will over time. Gold came back a little bit, can't win it. Doesn't matter what happens with it, still under pressure. 1614 is where it is. Yeah, we get a relief package. We don't get a relief package, it goes down. We get a relief package and it goes down. Look, I feel that gold has lost its way a little bit, but I do think that if we get this inflationary pickup as a result of the spends or the bailouts or the fiscal stimuluses that are happening around the world, that should be supportive of gold. So don't completely give up on the metal. I think that those dips will be well supported, and I would not be surprised to see the price of the metal a lot higher over the coming weeks. Similar there to silver, 30.58. Just also please note that margins have gone up with a lot of these metals. Some of them between, basically from 4 to 8%. Silver in itself up from a lot more, up from 8 to 10%. So just be careful on those. Make sure you prepare for those increase in those margins. Okay, so that's on that. We've mentioned that crude oil up 83.10, roller coaster ride. 80 always good support. 75 good support on the downside, and I think you can play it like that. With what's happening in Europe, confidence in the equity markets, confidence in the crude market. Just play it like that, and you should be okay. Copper 323.90. Obviously had a check to the lower end. It is trying to find a low, and I think that is possible. But as I said, it's broken some pretty significant trendline support, and rallies back to 360. I think will be sold into. Okay, on the grains, we've had some good moves. Wheat certainly up 2.5%. That's after hours, so don't lose track of that. And there we are. And certainly looking, I think, a little bit better bid. If you do want to have a look at it, have a look at buying it there. The stop goes in at 6.15, so it's not a bad low-risk trading opportunity. Low-risk trading opportunity for that. Also, one thing to note, which I'll just bring up there, is the cotton market. Cotton did have a good strong move, up 3%, 102, 103 from that level, and everyone knew exactly what we were looking at in terms of the trades there. We put out a special report last week, and last night, and even on the report, the Barrett's Bulletin, we actually suggested looking at that 120 call. But anyway, let's see how that unfolds. Right, that's pretty much about it. Let's have a look at the economic calendar tonight. And that's just coming up Friday night. A bit of data in Japan, personal income, PCE core and the deflator, University of Michigan purchases, Michigan confidence numbers, and the Chicago Purchasers Managed Index, all expected to be relatively steady. Nothing too positive on all of that. So I guess that's pretty much the wrap for the week. Also, wrap for the markets and where we think is going up. So that's about it from me. Have a good weekend. Go Manly, and let's see what happens. Bye for now.